Hi everyone, this is Sherry Brunner here, and I'm going to tell you a couple of stories from the Old Testament today about what God did for people back then, long ago, and He still does things for people today. So our story today, our first story, is about a girl. Her name was Hadassah. She lived in Babylon. She was part of the people that was brought over from the Babylonians long ago from Israel, and her parents died, and she was young, a teenager, and her cousin Mordecai took her in and raised her, and he renamed her Esther. And Esther means a star. Now, as you learn about the story, you'll learn about how Esther became a star. And what happened is that during this time, the king, Xerxes, was really angry at his wife and wanted a new wife. And so he had his men go out into the countryside and everywhere around Babylon, and he had beautiful women come in so he could pick a new wife. Esther, as she grew up, was chosen to be a queen. So there was a man named Haman, and he worked for King Xerxes. He was an evil man, and he was very high up in the government. He wanted everyone to bow to him. One day, he came walking up, and here is Mordecai sitting by the city gate. And Haman said, "You need to bow down to me." And Mordecai said, "I only bow to the Lord my God. I don't bow to people." Well, Haman got very, very angry, and he left. Okay, cut. So he goes to the king, and he says, "Mordecai would not bow to me. The people aren't respecting me. These Jews, I hate these Jews. I want all the Jews killed in this area. Please sign something that they will all be killed." And the king was like, well, I guess so. He didn't really know what was going on. He didn't know about Haman what he was doing. But anyway, so the king signed an edict that all the Jews would be killed. So Esther found out about this, and she was a Jew. She never told the king she was a Jew. And she was now very afraid of them killing all of her family and Mordecai and everybody and all the Jews. And so what she did is she asked her friends that were Jews and Mordecai and all those people to pray and fast. Fasting is not eating for a while and just praying. And so they did for 3 days, and they asked for deliverance from God because they were afraid that they'd all be killed. So Esther said, "Please pray for me because I need to go talk to the king. And if I'm not invited into his throne room, he could have me killed, but I need to go talk to him." So they prayed, and then she went into the court. And the king did not put his scepter down, which means she'd be dead, but he kept it up, and he was glad to see her. And she came up to him, and she asked him, "Can you please come to dinner? I want to put on a special dinner for you and talk to you." So he said, "Okay, we can do that tomorrow." So Esther invited the king Xerxes, and she also wanted Haman to come. During this time, the king was very happy with Esther, and he loved her. And so they ate, and they were happy together. And then she told him about there was a edict about all her people were going to be killed, including her. The king got very upset. "How did this happen? Who would want to kill you and your family?" And she pointed at Haman. Haman was shocked. Well, the king said, "This is wrong. We will not do this. We will not let those Jews be killed. And Haman, you're out of here." So Haman had to leave. And Esther was praised by her people for saving them, and no Jews were killed, and she was saved. And her name, Esther, means a star, and she was a star for them. She shone bright, and she wasn't afraid, and she trusted in God, and God saved his people because of what Esther did. Isn't that a wonderful story? How God can do that? It's the most beautiful thing, how he can use us to do things for him.